Hey guys, so today I got my final 2021 NBA mock draft with the NBA draft coming later this week. So we've got the draft lottery results in, and I'm doing a mock draft for the top 15. So there won't be any trades for this one, although I do think that both the Raptors and the Magic could trade up to 2 or 3, as there are rumored call up. So I think that the Raptors, especially, could try to target Evan Mobley. As he is a center, the Rockets already have Christian Wood, so I don't think they're going to be taking a center. But let's start off here at number one. We got the Pistons, and no surprise here, they're taking Cade Cunningham. He's a franchise player. He's a 6'8 guard, so he's a really big point guard. He's got elite playmaking skills, and he's also a great scorer and good defender. So really, really good all-around player who will be a face of the franchise for Detroit. And I think Detroit is an awesome place for him to go, as they'll have Cade Cunningham and Killian Hayes as their two guards, and then they also have Sadiq Bey and Beef Stew as well, and also maybe Saku can become someone, and Jeremy Grant as well is there. So it's going to be a very dangerous team, as Sadiq Bey and Beef Stew both had incredible rookie years, and Killian Hayes also has a really high upside. Moving on to number two, we've got the Rockets, and I've been taking Jalen Green. Although I think Evan Mobley is the second best player in this class, I think they are going to be taking Green, as not in most mock drafts, people have the Rockets taking Green. He's a 6'5 shooting guard, and I mean, he's just an elite scorer with elite athleticism, who's great at getting to the bucket. His shooting is okay, but he is getting better as 3 point. He is still a very solid shooter, especially in the mid range, and I think will be an elite scorer. Could work on his defense a little bit, but he kind of looks like a Zach LaVine type player with a really high ceiling. Has arguably the second highest upside next to Cade, so I think he can be a future star at shooting guard for the Rockets. Moving on to three, we've got the Cleveland Cavaliers, and they're taking Evan Mobley. They already have Jarrett Allen, but Evan Mobley's just too good to pass up on, as he has the potential to be a superstar center. I think he can be an all NBA center. He's 7 feet tall. He's a very, very good two-way big man who's great in the paint, but also can play as a stretch five. He is also a great shooter. He blocks shots and is an amazing rim protector. So I think that this is a really good pick with high upside, and I think Mobley will become an elite center coming out of USC. Next up, we have got the Toronto Raptors, and I think they're going to be taking Jalen Suggs. So I think they should be really happy with this pick, as in my opinion, Cade's the top player in this draft easily, and then I'd say it's Mobley, and Suggs and Green are pretty close. I do think that the Rockets are going to go for Green, but I think the Raptors, there's no way they pass on Suggs here. He was an elite player coming out of Gonzaga, and he was amazing all year. He's a 6'4 point guard, and he's a very fast player, plays a great transition game, and is kind of plays like a Kyle Lowry. He's great off the ball as well. So I think that this could be a great pick, especially with Kyle Lowry not going to be on this team long term. I think Suggs would be great to play alongside Freddie at the guard, and then you have OG, Pascal, and I think that, or actually Gary Trent at small forward, Pascal at center, and then they'll probably play OG at the four and a small ball lineup. I think that's kind of what they're going to look like, as well as Malachi Flynn as sixth man. Moving on to five, we've got the Magic, and I have them taking Jonathan Kuminga. Although Scottie Barnes has risen up a lot, and a lot of people now have the Magic taking Scottie Barnes, I think they have to take Kuminga. In my opinion, he is the better player. I think he's a top 5 player, and he is very close to Suggs and Green. He has a high upside and is a very, very similar player to OG Anunoby. So I think the Raptors could end up taking him, but they already have OG Anunoby. And Kuminga, I think, is a higher upside version of OG. He plays small forward, also plays power forward. One of probably the best perimeter defender in this class, aside from Davion Mitchell, and as well as he is a very good scorer. And he's not that great of a 3-point shooter. I think he was only like 25% from deep, but he's still an elite defender and can also score. So I think that this can be a really good pick, and he can become Elite 3 for the Magic, a team desperately in need as elite player as they head into this rebuild. Next up at 6, we have the Thunder, and they're taking Scottie Barnes. So Scottie Barnes is a 6'8 power forward, and he is a very good floor general, can handle the ball, which is really good for a power forward. And overall, the Thunder, I think, could use him a lot as they have Shea at the shooting guard position. But other than that, I think they could use a lot of players as I think Pokey will be their small forward of the future, but then they can play Barnes at power forward, kind of as a floor general, and I think he can be great playing in the paint with Shea. I think him and Shai Gilgeous-Alexander can be a very good duo for OKC. Next up at 7, we've got the Warriors, and I think that they're going to be taking Davion Mitchell. Now, there's a lot of debate over who they're going to take. I think it's very close. There's a lot of guys they could go with here, but I think overall they are just going to take Davion Mitchell, best perimeter defender in the class, small 6'1", point guard, but he was amazing in the national championship game and in the March Madness for Baylor, leading them to the championship. Great guard. He can score as well on top of being an elite defender. So I think that he will be an incredible player for the Warriors. I think he can be their past the Curry era, and I think he'll end up being a really good sixth man for his team for the next few years until he develops, and he can be a starter for this team, as I think he has a really high upside for it, and this could be a great pick. We have the second Magic pick at 8, and they're going to be taking James Bouknight. He has risen a lot. He's a sophomore this year, so a year older, but still an amazing player. Coming out of UConn, a 6'4 guard, and he's a very good scorer. I think put up 18 points a game last year with UConn, and also a very good defender as well. Needs to improve his playmaking, but I think him and Kuminga can be a great duo coming in, and this is a great way to start the Magic rebuild. Next up at 9, we've got the Kings, and they're taking Keon Johnson. I think that Keon Johnson can be a really good player. They need a small forward. That's basically what they need. They've got De'Aaron Fox, who is an elite point guard. They've got Tyrese as shooting guard, and I don't think Buddy Hield's coming back. They're probably going to move him. He's not part of this team's long-term solution. We'll see what happens with Bagley. I think he can still be a solid center for this team, though, but I think they could add at the forward position, which is what Keon Johnson brings. Next up, we have the New Orleans Pelicans, and they're taking one of the biggest risers in Josh Giddey. So he is coming from Australia, playing in Adelaide, same place, playing in Australia like LaMelo, and he is a very tall guard, 6'8", plays probably point guard and also small forward, a great ball handler and playmaker, so really fits the role of a point guard really nice as a really big point guard, and I think he can be a really good player and starter, especially since Lonzo Ball is probably going to get traded. Josh Giddey can probably replace him as their starting point guard of the future. At 11, we've got the Hornets, and they're taking Moses Moody. So he's another really good player. I think the players in this range are really close, pretty much after Scottie Barnes. You got Davion Mitchell, Moses Moody. It's really just about team fits at the moment. But Moody is a 6'6 guard. He can be a really good player for the Hornets, play next to LaMelo. They got Miles Bridges and PJ Washington as well. So I think the Hornets, he can be added as one of the really solid starters on this team. 12, we've got the Spurs, and they're taking Jalen Johnson. So this is probably one of the riskiest picks in the draft. He did opt out of Duke after not getting the opportunities and playing time that he wanted. So that definitely plummeted his draft stock a little bit after being more of a top 10 prospect, but he is still one of the most naturally gifted players in this draft, as he is just an athletic freak, an amazing scorer, and has a very, very, very high ceiling. But yeah, he's all around just an amazing offensive player, and very versatile as well. Can be a really good 3 or 4 at 6'9". So I think he has a ceiling to be an elite player, but he is very risky. So I think that bringing Jalen Johnson, I think he has the potential to replace DeMar as their small forward. And third team, we've got the Pacers, and I've been taking Franz Wagner. Franz Wagner, I think, is a really good player at the small forward position for them to take. He's 6'9", and the Pacers pretty much have everything except for I think they could use a small forward or power forward, as they do have guys like Caris LeVert, Malcolm Brogdon, Miles Turner, and Domantas Sabonis. I think they could use Franz Wagner to be their starting small forward. Four teams, we've got the Warriors' second pick, and they're taking Isaiah Jackson. Isaiah Jackson is a really good shot blocker and a great rim protector, great in the paint. Can't do much else though, so I think he kind of can be like a Miles Turner type player for this team, and I think the Warriors could use him coming off the bench. He doesn't have the highest upside, but I think can fill the role of a rim protecting center nicely. And finally, at 15, we've got the Washington Wizards, and I'm taking Alperen Sengun. So I think there's a couple ways I could go here. The main two I was thinking of are Sengun and Corey Kispert. And although I think Kispert is a top 15 prospect, I think after that national championship game and the fact that he is a senior, so he is a lot older, I think teams are going to pass him in the top 15, and he'll go in kind of the 16 to 20 range. But Sengun is coming out of Turkey. He's a big 6'10" power forward center, and has exceptional playmaking skills as well, but also a great rebounder, and I think can be a great big man for Washington. But I think the other thing they could look to do is upgrade the guard position with Bradley Beal and Russell Westbrook. Their era is probably coming to an end after 1 year, so I think they could add someone there. But that is my mock draft. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, remember to leave a like and subscribe, as well as comment down below what you think. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.